Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Daily Gab. So I made a new friend last night through the most unlikeliest of sources. One of those games, you know, the little click and go games. Well, mine happened to be Sultans. I've been playing Sultans a lot, mainly because I don't know, I like choice games like that. I need to roll the windows down just a little bit. There. I think that's good. While I talk to you guys, I've got to fix my keys. My key thingy broke. It just snapped. So, what is a girl to do? So I had someone ask me, where do you start? You know, knowing all these things that are, you know, out there. And this young lady had a lot of questions, and you know, she has a point. I have not really discussed the beginning process of going on your spiritual journey. Getting to know yourself. There's so much inside and within you that it can be very intimidating and it can be overwhelming. So, yeah, I gotta fix my keys. I think I can manage that with this. Can't believe my freaking car keys decided to take a crap on me. Don't mean to cuss on this, but when your car keys finally take a dump on you, well, when your keys fall apart at their own volition, it's just like, really? It's not gonna ruin my day, really. Not really. Shoot. Well, anyways, what the heck going? Now, the way I went about my spiritual journey doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be just like yours. Everyone's spiritual journey is different. Everyone's. It could be you realize you're different. It could be like you realize you're different from a very young age, and there goes my keys. Darn it. I'll get it later. And you can be all alone for a couple years, and then finally you hit a breaking point where you're sick and tired of being different. You try to blend in, and to no avail. Which basically is how I've known ever since I was young that I was different. The thing is, I didn't know why and I didn't know what. So, it could be something like that. Or, you've known all along you're different. Or you never know why you're treated differently. And you can't tell, you're like, how am I different? I'm not different. When in actuality, you are different. Thing is, you may not be sure how. Or you know how. You know why you're different. But, you know. Or something traumatic happened to you. And which is what I call the superhero scenario. Now, I'm not going to say that traumatic things can't bring on superpowers, but it can bring an inner stimuli to be a catalyst of something bigger. Like, for instance, my husband knew he was different all along. Thing is, he fit in with everybody. Everyone loved him. They couldn't get enough of him. He was Mr. Popular. He couldn't get alone time to save himself when he was young. But now, he knows that he's different. He knew there was something about him. Very charming, charismatic, with little to no effort. He could be having a bad face day, and people still want to be around him. He's just got that energy about him. But if you cross him, it's a different story. But, the thing is, your spiritual journey in the beginning, it can be anything at any given time, for whatever reason to cause it, or it's just time to wake up. We are constantly told what we are, and how we should be. And sometimes we don't stop to think, is that true? When I was a kid, I had an attention problem. I had trouble with understanding consequences to my action. Like, for instance, my father's parenting style was do as I say, no matter what. Even though it made no sense, do as I say. Don't question your elders. Children should be kind of seen and not heard. Or you think what I tell you to think. Basically, it was very controlling. And I was always told, you know, who, what, when, where, why. Sometimes I wasn't even told the why. But I was always told, you do as I say, not as I do. So I'm just like, and I would ask them, why? You're being grounded. Why? I want to know what I was being punished for. And it would make everyone mad. I always questioned everything. Even though they've told me an answer, I would just be like, why? Like, for instance, when I would go to school and the teachers would quiz us on things that we already knew, and it got really boring and repetitive. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And they're like, well, we're told to teach you this. I'm like, can we learn something that we're going to use? Can we learn something constructive? You know, can we do something, you know, that's different? And no, we're told to do this. And that's how it is. All our childhood, we're pretty much told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it, what to think, what to feel, how to dress, how to eat, how to and we are all stuck in this rut. There's a lot of people walking around here blind, and they don't know who they really are. They don't. They truly don't. Without a label, they don't know who they are and what they are. You got people saying, I'm a redneck. Take that away and tell me who you are. Well, I'm so-and-so. Take your name away. Take your name away. Take your titles away. I'm a construction worker. Take that away too. Tell me who and what you are. Without a name, without a label, and without a job title. You would have a lot of confused people walking, you know, with that question. Who are you? What are you? I can tell you that. No, that would be giving you guys the answer. You guys need to come up with the answer. I have my answer. It's your turn. Gotta figure out who you are. What makes you happy? You don't know where to start? Start with what makes you happy. What makes you sad? What hurts? What feels good? What what's your reason for getting up in the morning? Ask you some real tough, scary questions. Write down your answers or get your answer. In time, and if you don't like some of your answers, guess what? It's not set in stone. You can change that. I used to be a worrywart. Still kind of am, but I'm not as bad as I used to be. I used to be so terrified of things that could happen that I never, ever took a chance. And I do regret not taking some chances. Until one day, I woke up and I said to myself, I'm gonna do this. And I don't care how wigged out I am about it. It started with me saying no to a lot of the pharmaceuticals that, pharmaceutical prescription medicine that was prescribed to me. I was prescribed for depression and ADHD. At age 17, I woke up and I'm like, I'm not taking these anymore. I actually did an experiment for a little while. I stopped taking them. I felt better. I had an appetite again. My headache stopped. My stomach stopped hurting. My body stopped hurting. Stopped feeling tired. And I sat down outside for the first time in a long time then. And I enjoyed the sensations I got from sitting under a tree. That loneliness feeling went away. I felt the life, the living it, the life of nature. And with that, I realized that the medicine was not helping me like it should be. In fact, it hurt. I looked at my mother dead faced. I'm not taking these medicines anymore. Stop wasting your money, please. She said, well, what am I going to do with this? I'm like, give it back to the doctor, to the pharmacist, and say, I'm not taking them. Stop. Just stop. Just please. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. When I came to that realization that, you know, the medicine was hurting me, I started realizing a lot of things that, that I did certain things because I felt a certain way because I was always told, like, especially with kids. Kids said, you're stupid. When I was taking the medicine, it hurt a lot. And I was susceptible to just giving up because I was tired. I didn't know how to cope. Coping back in the day was take a pill for it. Get lost in a video game. Distract yourself. Sure, okay, try. Go ahead, try, but is it really fixing the problem? And one day, kids would tell me in my school, you're stupid. You're dumb. You're ugly. You're fat. You're skinny. I was told I was fat because my body developed earlier than some of them. You know, I boobs and a butt. You're fat. And, yeah, so. And then I told a lot of them, you know, so. They didn't know how to respond. You're fat, so you need to lose weight. I will when I want to. You're ugly. So are you, but I don't point that out because it would hurt your feelings. And they don't know how to respond. The bullying stopped once I pointed out the obvious on them. You're stupid. On some things. No, you're stupid about everything. Well, that's your opinion. You have problems in math. Well, I said, but I don't point it out. You're dumb on some things, like what I go through. When my grandmother died, kids were merciless and bullying me. They said that the reason why my grandmother died was because I'm that big of a loser and she couldn't bear the disappointment of me. I knew that wasn't true. She died of ovarian cancer. So I told them, I said, no, my grandmother died of ovarian cancer. It was a slow and painful death. So, yeah. And the next thing you know, karma hit them. And they didn't know how to deal. Found out someone's mother died, the one person that did pick on me. And I said, hey, if you want to talk, I'm here. She started crying. And she said, I don't understand you. I'm like, what do you mean? I've picked on you so terribly. You've changed. I said, I sure hope I changed. I didn't like who I was. I was a zombie. This is me. She said, I picked on you so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm like, you're young, you're confused, and you don't know what's going on in your life, really. So, hey, it's totally okay. So when you go through your spiritual journey, it may not be beautiful. It may not be this big old ray of light coming out of your butt or something. It might be something that you have to work on. It could be something that you can work on with just one decision made and focus on it. It could be something that is so easy that you're just overthinking it and it's right under your nose. It could be something that is really hard to do. You take a lot of your past trauma and everything that has caused you pain in your mind and your heart and your body, and you just forgive people that have hurt you. I know that's asking a lot because people have and can do some pretty screwed up stuff and hurtful stuff. Most people are like, you don't understand, I'm a rape victim. Well, you know, me too. It took a lot of courage and a lot of forgiving and a lot of practice. But I've contacted the person that hurt me and abused me for 3 whole years and trapped me for 3 years. Mental, emotional, physical, psychological, sexual abuse for 3 years. Most people are like, oh, I went through it for some more years than that. That makes you tougher than me. I bless you for that. This isn't a competition. Everyone's journey in life is different. And I'm not claiming to be the worst the person that had the worst end of the deal ever. I'm not claiming that at all. I'm just saying that I survived what I went through. Heck, maybe if I went through something that somebody else went through and they survived, I may not come out as good as I probably have now. But I came out as decent as I possibly could be. The best that I can be out of what I went through. I called the person that caused me the most pain. And I forgave them. Family too, I've contacted them. And I said, hey, remember this? This is what it really did to me. But hey, I want to say, I forgive you, I love you, and I want to move past that. I want closure from this. Now, I know many people may not be able to get closure, and the forgiving process may not be as beautiful as you think it would be, but let's be honest. You would feel better once you say what you gotta say. Oh, they didn't accept my forgiveness. Well, you know what? Nobody cannot accept your forgiveness, because once you forgive them, you should be at peace. Oh, I don't feel any better. Give it time. Keep practicing it. You gotta mean it. Pardon me. So, the forgiving process may not be as glamorous. You just gotta take what you can get. But I deserve this. Life is not about what you deserve. This process is not easy. It may sound easy. And it may sound great in theory. But it takes practice. It takes practice. Trust and believe that. It takes a lot of practice. And this is when I do recommend meditation and self-awareness. You have to achieve, the first step of your spiritual journey should be self-awareness. Realize that you have your own valuable, one-of-a-kind perception going on in your life. People don't see what you see and don't sense and perceive what you sense and perceive. It's one of a kind. It is different from anybody else's. Once you make a connection, a deep connection with another person, then and only then, you probably can perceive the same as the other person. But other than that, it's different. And it is possible. You just have to want it bad enough. Believe it or not, a lot of people can't believe it, but your thoughts and your words carry so much power. Your thoughts can gear you up for either a really bad day or a really good day. Or a kind of day. Your words can build a person up or tear a person down. Pretty powerful. We ourselves are very powerful beings. Sure, we may be human. We may not be perfect. Nobody asks to be perfect. Being perfect, I think, is a big pain in the ass. Because there's no such true thing as perfect. Now, your version of perfect may not be the same as another person's form of perfect. Get it? Yeah, once you think about all this, it does seem a little alone. But, I'll tell you a little secret. There's a lot more people like me. Not just like me, but like me. That build connections and that can not feel alone. I'm one of the lucky few in my life that, the lucky few that I know of, that have found their twin flame or soulmate thing is, we are both individuals, but we are the same. Namaste. I recognize his inner light, and he recognizes mine. Me and him are in sync, and in, I want to say perfect harmony, but not really perfect, because we like our individuality. And hey, that's fine. It's quite alright. Nothing wrong with that at all. But now, when you try to achieve your spiritual journey, it's going to be rough at first, but don't give up. I've helped people. The main steps you want to do to make it as easy as possible for you is to meditate and learn to master your thoughts at will, and to master your emotions at will. You may not control everybody. You may not be able to control everything that will upset you and make you happy, but you can certainly control your reaction to it. And everything you're going through, you have the ability to cope. To cope. The main words to focus on is cope and self-control. Sure, your thoughts and your emotions are just like another arm. You can control it. Like I can control this hand, I can control this arm. I'm thinking subconsciously, I'm thinking about moving my legs and my arms. I don't have to really put thought to it. At first, trying to think and control your mind and emotions, it's going to be hard, and you got to think about it. But after a while, you won't have to. It would just be how you are. It'd be second nature, or within your nature. Depends on how far you go. But, yeah. It's really hot today. But, yeah. It becomes second nature. How about that? How about that? How about that? How about that? Ooh, 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 ooh. So, your person, people can guide you and give you advice. Or I can guide you and give you advice, give you the tools and the resources to go about how you want to go about it. But we can't do it for you. Now, there are people that do Reiki that can remove blocks, and it would be easier, but they can't do it for you. It's something you have to make a decision on. Something that you have to do. And only you. There are no magical spells that do it for you. There are no magical oils or candles or elixirs or rituals that can do it for you. At least I don't believe so. You have to do it. It may be hard work, but I swear on my life, it is well worth it. A lot of people ask me, what do you do? What do you do? I'm a psychometrist. There's not a lot of us out there because it's hard living with that kind of ability. Most people say, I looked it up and that's someone that deals with nerves. This is a real kind of ability. Psychometry is real. Psychometrists are people that can read the past, present, and future of a person, place, or object. Or a situation. I'm also known to communicate with, I guess, spirits at a very controlled manner. My grandfather makes sure that I'm protected. He's very overprotective to the point where it's really hard for me to read other spirits. So I'll try, and if he says no, then I'm like, okay. So there's that. Most psychometrists, they either go crazy because reading everything and everyone and every place they walk into or everything they touch, if you don't have a strict discipline, it can drive you batty. It can drive you crazy. A lot of psychometrists self-medicate with drugs or booze because it does everything. Sometimes they get misdiagnosed and they are prescribed prescription drugs, like I was when I was young. Or they become a vegetable because it's too much, too fast everywhere. Thank God I was taught self-discipline when I was young. I'm probably one of the lucky few. I do know some more, but they have their own methods, and we really don't like being around each other because we're picking up on everyone that we've ever come across. And it's like, hi, nice to see you, bye. Because we pretty much know how they're doing within seconds. I know how to control that ability, which is why I probably am the way I am. Oh, let's move over here. No. Apartment life. God, Jesus. That's like a bag of wet cats. Angry, pissed off, and what the fuck. It's really hard to just, how some people could just, oh, I'll just move over here. Or I'll just go over here, or go over there. No. Or, oh, I'll go to this DMV. Just because I need to get stuff done. Me, I'm just like, I'll go to this DMV because I like the energy there. And it's a lot calming. A lot more calming. Or I'll go to this Walmart because there's not a lot of chaotic energy to deal with. You can't just go places. Someone's like, oh, let's hang out in a graveyard, for Halloween. I'm just like, no. Why? I feel bad when I'm there. I feel sick. I won't be there. You go. And bless yourself before and after you leave it. Like, I gotta fix those because it likes to get tangled up. There we go. So, that should cover about all that young lady's question was about. And I hope this, and if there's more questions, I know when the more you find out, the more questions you get. It's like a never-ending cycle. And it's okay to have all these questions. Just, they will be answered when they're meant to be answered. Find peace in that. And if anybody has any more questions, I am more than happy to answer them. But if it's about your future, I do have rates. So, just find me, message me, and I'll be more than happy to answer. Love and light to you all, and I wish we all have a really good day today.